If I see an auto wrench at a yard sale or flea market, it usually follows me home. When I filmed this, I had 20 in my collection. Since then, several have moved on to better homes. I've managed to replace most of them. I think I have 19 right now. As far as I could tell, this design of adjustable wrench dates back to an 1840 patent. This is the earliest U.S. patent I could find with the worm and rack mechanism. They became popular when Ford included them in the Model T's toolkit. In fact, a lot of people refer to auto wrenches as Ford wrenches, even today. Auto wrenches that feature the Ford script logo are popular with collectors. Some auto wrenches have a square lug on the handle for use on drain plugs. Some have a handle shaped for use as a tire spoon. I call this one my Tuco wrench. It's made up of at least 2 different wrenches, like Tuco's revolver in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Auto wrenches are fun to clean up. The no-name 9-inch models are readily available and inexpensive. Here's a couple I polished up and painted. I think painting in between the knurling on the adjust screw looks hot. Getting these wrenches apart can be challenging. The higher quality brand name wrenches usually have a threaded pin. The lower quality no-name auto wrenches have a solid pin that is staked in place. One option is to clean up the wrench as best you can without disassembly. I would recommend this option on a more valuable Ford script model with a pin that won't budge. Another option is to modify the wrench so that the movable jaw and adjust screw can be removed as an assembly. These wrenches have a raised section in the forging at the end of the rack teeth. If this section is removed, the movable jaw can be threaded off the wrench. The wrench is a lot easier to clean up in 2 pieces. This also makes it easier to work on removing a stubborn pin. I'm usually able to get the pin out without modifying the wrench. This wrench is pretty rusty, but the adjust screw is free. See how the metal is deformed around the hole to keep the pin from falling out? This is what I'm calling staking. Usually both solid pin and threaded pin wrenches are staked like this. I use my Dremel to grind away the staking. I've had luck with several different bits. Here I'm using a diamond bit. Here's the pinhole with the staking ground away. It's really important to clear the pinhole of all obstructions. Okay, believe it or not, this method I'm going to show you works almost every time. First I take a punch and give the pin a good whack or 2. I know I'm whacking it the opposite way I want it to come out, but this moves the pin away from the spot it has been resting in. Now I'm going to use the pin's own weight to force it out of the hole. I give the wrench a sharp rap on the edge of the movable jaw. I like to use the edge of my vise for this. It's more of a speed thing rather than how hard it hits the vise. Sort of like whiplash in a car accident. The vise stops the wrench, but the pin keeps moving. Sometimes it takes several raps on the vise. Sometimes I'll give the pin a few taps the other way with the punch again. But I'm almost always successful at getting the pin to poke its head out of the hole. And there's the prize. Check out all of the rust inside the movable jaw. This is why I like to completely disassemble these wrenches. The parts are also now easier to sand and polish. After the wrench is all cleaned up, I use a center punch to restake the pin in place. On this wrench, I got too close to the edge with my first stake and it broke through. My second attempt produced the dimple that will retain the pin. In part 2, I'll share how I modified this no-name 9-inch auto wrench. The project was a little more involved than the normal polish and paint. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to check out part 2 next week. Thanks for watching. Hey Chuck, can you see yourself?